Many years ago, I began an engineering and management consulting business. In the beginning, everything was going great, coming up roses. Yet after 6 months, the bottom dropped down. I had no business. The business account went to zero, and then my personal accounts hit rock bottom, and it was desperation mode for us. I asked the men of a Friday breakfast to pray that business would come in, which they did. Yet my immediate need was really for money to buy groceries for the family. After the meeting, one of the men shook my hand, and in it he placed a $50 bill. I was a bit embarrassed to take it, but I remembered something that a pastor once told me. Never withdraw from the hand of the one who wants to bless you. In other words, it would be wrong not to graciously accept a blessing from another person. Now, in the early church, the Holy Spirit was working in the lives of those parishioners in marvelous ways. Luke recorded the following about this early church. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And one way that they were doing this was the way of love, expressed in benevolence. When one had a need, others would give of their own resources to help the one who lacked it. John wrote about this in 1 John. We read, if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. Now here we see that it is expected of believers that the love of Christ in them should be poured out to others in a practical way when a need arises. Now this helping one another in the body is not to be done in a legalistic manner, but should be a natural outflow of the love that's in their hearts. If the heart's not in it, then the benevolence loses its sincerity, if you think about it. Now, this type of loving giving helps both the giver and the recipient of the gift and promotes spiritual wellness in both of them. The recipient is encouraged by the gift and should understand that the gift was the provision from the Lord working through the giver to meet that need. It helps boost them up in the faith, realizing this. This will require that the recipient has humility, a contrite heart. Yet the recipient is not the only one who is blessed by the act. It is also the giver. The giver is being obedient to the leading of the Holy Spirit, leading him to provide in that need. And this too is a healthy exercise that edifies the giver. Thus, in this way, both the one who receives the gift and the giver participate in an exercise that is mutually edifying, promoting spiritual wellness in one another and in the church. Now, before we leave the subject, we must also recognize that benevolence can include more than just money. John here, though, clearly taught that if we have the world's goods and the heart of God's love, that we should meet the need by providing the goods necessary. Yet people also have other needs in addition to material goods. People may need comfort, encouragement, help in tasks. It could be that we might want to help someone by mowing their lawn or raking up their leaves or repairing something in their house or driving them to an appointment or the store or visiting them in the hospital, just a host of things. But there's many needs, and whether we have the money to meet the need or not, there are ways in which we can meet the need, the spiritual need that they have. Prayer is a big way. But anyhow, you understand what we're talking about. This is an exercise that helps us grow in faith, which gives us increased spiritual strength. That means spiritual wellness.